There are quite a number of musicians that started out with you, many that looked up to you, and you'll notice that in these 20 years, right, some have fallen off, others have smoked their career away, others have just disappeared due to, some say, pressure that comes by and all that. But you've been gradually pushing your thing, you've stayed on top of your game, the achievements are visible, and you're still among the top 2 trending musicians in the land. What advice do you have to the musicians that have found themselves, you know, in such situations?
I think it's not too late, first of all. The only mistake is, where it's difficult is the drug addiction. Of course, it's worldwide, but I think all my career I've been talking negative about drugs. Because I know, I've seen, we've traveled, we've seen these artists go down to 0. Now, I'll give a good example of what I saw going on with Cute Kaye. Of course, I remember what happened to our young brother Radio, rest in peace. I had a conversation with Radio a month before his death. I remember I personally called him, and I was very happy with the fact that he received my call and accepted to meet me. Because I saw he was getting off track completely. He was being put on pressure. Public was putting Radio on pressure. And I had told him some time back when he was starting to work with Washington. I told him, look, the formula is time. Accept that things happen in time. Then you'll be able to be comfortable. So Radio, during his last 6 months, he was under a lot of pressure to prove that he can sustain. Yet he didn't need to prove. He was already given credibility that he was one of the best, if not the best vocalist. So all he needed to do was to accept time and start walking slowly. So that caused him, the pressure caused, because he was looking for the songs to be on top the way they were before. Okay? And that doesn't happen. There are moments when you're low, there are moments when you're high. The moments when you're low, you let others come, learn something from them, then revolve, come back on top. So we had a very good chat at Casablanca. And my biggest problem was the bottle in the hand all the time, because that was what was taking him away. Yet he had brought a very stiff competition amongst the top 3 at that time. He was really doing so, you know, penetrating and cutting us into pieces. Actually, I'm not surprised when the 2 of my colleagues are out of that, because it's the Radio thing and Weasel that brought that discomfort in the top 3. Because then people started looking at talent, young talent, and then the confidence the boys got. I remember I had to accept to battle them for me to be able to get rid of them. You know, because they were taking on my space. So I tricked them into a battle and ate them like chicken, and I retained my
position.
Position. So my advice to these old artists or young artists who are dropping off the radar, it's not only music that you can benefit from. And actually, Uganda music does not pay. It's the brand that pays. It's the brand that pays. People are doing all sorts of things to create brands, but for you, you're already lucky that you have a name. So find something to do with the name. Okay? Right now, I'll give you an example of me. I created Amber Heart Foundation. It's a foundation that I took to the ministry. We are working together now. It began with the hearts, where I took kids to India. Of course, I went soliciting for money using my concerts. Now I'm working with the Ministry of Health. We have the project of fighting tuberculosis in the country. Now, this Amber Heart Foundation has pushed me to Global Fund. Global Fund is the biggest financer. Okay? They give money to people who can use it positively to influence and fight diseases and influence a lot of things in the world. So how am I getting there? I'm not getting there because I support President Museveni. No, it's because when I did Amber Heart, then the ministers and the ministry and the concerned people say, you know what? I think that guy has a name that can do this. Okay? So they sat me down, they told me, they pushed me through things, and they gave me a way.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you have a name like Yutkae, you don't need to be on stage to be paid. All you need to do is to find such work that your brand can interpret, can be interpreted into money. You get it?
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I even spoke to Mama Halima sometime back, like a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She called me and said, Bebe, I need to meet you. I'm like, okay, Mama, I'll get time, but exactly about what? She's like, I need to understand if my career can restart. I told her on the phone, I asked Mama Halima, are you serious? She's like, yes. That's why you want to meet me? Yes. I asked, do you want the truth?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to waste your airtime and your transport. And she said, yes, my son. And I told her, Mama, this is the truth. Forget music because you're already bigger than music.
Yeah.
Get that name Halima, because every time you knock on every door and they open and they see Halima,
use your name as a leverage.
they open for you with 2 arms. Okay? So get yourself together, do some proposals, look at missing gaps, write something good, go out to offices, go out to embassies.
Yeah. All right. Now, social media warriors and another category of people, they are sharing. There's quite a lot that I already see on social media, so I guess I need to put this forth. That Bobby Wine, pushed a certain tree, and that tree had fruits. The industry is now benefiting, a section of musicians are benefiting from the fruits that are coming off the tree. Do you believe in that school of thought?
I don't understand that. Maybe I'm sleeping, but I don't understand how that, because the whole thing is simple. The music has been connected to politics all before in Uganda. I remember I've been doing so much when it comes to music, politically, and blah, blah. Even Tubongana was there before.
Yes.
Which showed that there was attention, government attention towards the music industry. Because even years back, the likes of Moses Matovu, the likes of... they've been fighting to get the attention, and they've gotten the attention of government towards the music industry. Only that it was that little.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, when our brother joins the opposition, then the fruits is what I don't understand. Because the fruits are supposed to be beneficial for all the musicians.
The fruits they are talking about in this sense, what I pick from this, people getting cars.
Cars?
Yes. You've
Who has
heard
got
that,
a car?
Actually, I want Bebe to make this very, very clear. Because you see, if you are reading on social media, there are people who are suggesting that you received a car from State House. Catherine Kusasa also received the car. Eddie Kenzo over there on speed and when he actually shared the picture of himself.
But this is the wrongest concept of Ugandans. I don't know. And such a thing is applicable if you were born yesterday. But for those who have seen Bebe Cool work with the president for the last 20 years, for those who have seen Catherine Kusasra for the last 9 years since we began, okay? People have seen Eddie Kenzo work for President Museveni before. You remember the times, stamina. So if Eddie got annoyed and because he felt he wasn't given anything, paid for his time. Because actually the first years that we worked for NRM, we weren't being paid. Okay, we were doing things. So Eddie, I believe as a young man, he thought when he works there, he's going to get paid. But he wasn't, so he got mad. And then later on, he realizes that, you know what? I think I made a mistake. Now, this is how we get these cars. When I was shot, on the way I had my Hammer coming.
Okay.
So I remember that Hammer arrived in Uganda the day I left hospital. And I remember I took a picture of myself in a wheelchair when the Indian guy had brought the car at home. So after that, I used my car for 2 campaigns, and it got destroyed. But during campaigns, the president gives people different vehicles to use, not their personal cars. But for me, I use my personal car and it got spoiled. So after the 2 campaigns, I told the man, you know, my father, at least replace my car because it's gone. And it is destroyed. You know, do I have to dip in my pocket and again buy another hammer for President Museveni to use? I started using these other super customs. But
Benz,
remember, no, I was using the super custom for now up country. But my status now is so big, and if the country lost a person like me, it would be bad. So I have to also worry about my safety on the road. Yeah. So he's like, oh, my son, I think you're right. Because again, we can lose you in an accident. So I said, okay, I will replace your car. So he started putting together money for the last... I remember Madame Nachove. I'll tell you facts because Ugandans love hearing facts. Oh, yeah. I remember Madame Nachove started keeping money for my car and Catherine's car 5 years ago. Wow. 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 And every time I went back to State House to ask for a certain amount of money to help me, Madame Nachove was very clear and said, Bebe, we don't have money. But there's your money there for the car that I'm still putting up. Okay? Do you want it? I said no. Ngabulengeno musaba sente ngamba gatofaye waliwo akasente kona naye kaki kamoto okagala nkakuwe kubanze sirina. While the rest of the public thinks that they wake up in the morning and just give you what? Cars. So that's a very wrong concept. Those things are planned for, because budget ziri ways is they're giving musicians cars. Who said so?
Now, it brings me to the next question. That your closeness with NRM has brought you many friends, but also more enemies.
Not more.
Okay.
That's a wrong statement. Because if I had more enemies, I wouldn't be on top of the industry today.
Oh, yeah. I read somewhere that some people within are fighting your presence, you know.
Within NRM?
Within NRM.
It is very okay. Okay? Let me correct people here. Within a party, there's still competition. And that's how the party becomes even better. As long as the competition is not destructive, it should be competition. Of course, so I think, yes, there are people fighting me, but you see, even then, they'll be fighting what they don't know. Because this is a new concept. I'm just a musician. I'm not a minister. I'm not a member of parliament. I don't have an office in the secretariat. I'm not anything. Yeah. I'm just Bebe Cool. The application of an artist is totally different when it comes to me in NRM. Yeah. So the little fights don't really do anything to me, because it's also my obligation to teach them how to use me. Okay, because they need me, I need them. Okay. And I think I've done my part well. Where I feel there's a lot of fire, I pull off a bit, and make them understand my position and my being there. Otherwise, the whole thing is, my relationship with the NRM has actually brought me success. And it's permanent success. Someone would be on the opposite side of the television and say, maybe temporary success. No. Yeah. This is permanent success. Because actually, as we have gone by during the last 3 years, young people have started to realize and notice that, oh, so this is the reason why Bebeko supports the NRM. The NRM is our father. It is our grand party. Yeah. And it is a party that, of course, the people who lead it, or the chairman, would love young people to take on and on after his time. All right. Okay? Now, so we just want to keep that transition positive.
Okay. All right. Now, one of the things you've done due to your closeness with the NRM is lobbying for funds for artists. I remember sometime last year or this year when you were enlisting artists that received the package, starting with Dr. Yiridaman.
Yes.
And a couple of others.
Yes.
why is it that some artists, when they receive a package, let's say in this case from government, some of them,
they hide.
They hide,
yes.
You know? What brings about that?
Well, it is as simple as this. These artists are weak, and then they are not truthful. But that's the right language I would use. Because sincerely speaking, when someone gives you something, you should appreciate. And also, you went there begging for it. Okay? This is a scenario that usually causes them to do such. One, Kampala is our capital city. Two, it is where the music industry bases. Yeah. That's where the real business is. Yeah. The payment and the things and the working. Three, in Kampala is where politics is. Four, in Kampala is where opposition is best mainly. Okay? Five, musicians come and fix music into politics. Because now, some of us, the budget can no longer, in the music industry alone, can no longer sustain us. I can't live on those chips and chicken payments from the Kina Abitexes and blah, blah. No, I can't. I have to think. I have to think. So my colleagues, they are trying to think. Now, those who see us thinking and getting into these other level of relationships with the big people, the big monies, they also come. Now, the package is, when you choose a side politically, you definitely lose funds on the other side. Now, what these guys are trying to do, they want to eat both sides. They want to keep the funds, and they want to eat the president's money. So they find themselves in the middle of a hard rock, where I've seen many of them. I can send you some pictures next time. We're taking photos with the president, and then some of them are hiding behind like this. If I was to destroy people's images when it comes to lies, you'd be shocked on how many artists have been in State House on that list of what they call us beggars. Okay? And the same people come out here in the public and say, beggar, but at the end of the day, the whole situation, the whole thing is simple. Beda wa mazima. Okay? We are not supporting the president because of money. We are supporting the president because of the vision, the right vision. We are not supporting the president because we don't see where the wrong things are. But we are only saying the good things are more than the bad things. We are only saying, yes, we can recognize the mistakes, but we are not going to kumanyira the older people just because we are growing hair. We want to be the young people who learn from the old people where the mistakes were. Okay, this is as simple as this. This is how I term it. Uganda has an history that we must know if we want to build a good future. It has a presence in which we belong to. Here in the present day today, so many things that we are seeing that went wrong, corruption, we see them. Okay? But how do you rectify this if you don't know where it comes? That is the history, where it comes from. And who best to tell you where it comes from or why it came? It is these same old people. So what we needed to do as young people is to work with these old people now, okay? So that we can understand and so that we don't make the same mistakes or maso. So that's why us who have stood with the president or with the NRM, that's why we are okay with losing our audience, part of our audience today. Not this statement. Us who have supported the president and the NRM are okay with losing our audience, a part of our audience for today. Because we know that part of our audience will come back tomorrow when their eyes are open. So our job is to open their eyes.
All right.